Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet a man who's on a mission to reshape the nature of veterans care in America. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, you see it on the news almost every day. PTSD, veteran suicide rates alarmingly high, and every one of us says somebody ought to do something. Well, my next guest is doing a lot in that department. Major General Bob Dees. He's retired, and he is now heading up the National Center for Healthy Veterans. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Great to be with you.
Absolutely. And you're a returning guest. You came on about a year ago, but your miracles are happening every day. Why don't we start with what is the National Center for Healthy Veterans?
National Center for Healthy Veterans is a holistic integration of proven best practices. When I retired, I did an inventory of what was available for veterans. There was nothing truly at risk veterans to hold on to them, ride the roller coaster with them, help them in a longer-term residential program to truly recover and put them back on the street as healthy Americans, to be businessmen, entrepreneurs, coaches, educators, societal role models.
Yes. And so when they sign up with you, are they there for a year?
They're there for 9 months.
Okay.
And they come in, we give a deep assessment, blood tests, stool samples, psychological batteries, occupational interest inventories, everything to understand what we know about them, how we can best help them. And then they go through 3 trimesters of resilience, trauma recovery, and career preparation, all on a 339-acre farm, ranch, horses, cattle, donkeys, eggs, chickens, you name it. It's really a healing platform, but the true intellectual property is rewiring the brain, reshaping the heart, restoring the soul.
More on the science on that in a minute, but we're going to show this overview video.
I have not the easiest background. I went into kind of a little bit of a dark place.
I got, with PTSD, I went to a dark place. I was real isolated and stuff and all.
Wasn't really able to provide for myself.
Our veterans, many of them have become injured, wounded, if you will, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, relationally wounded on behalf of us.
They've had a difficult time and they want to get reintroduced back into society, but they don't have a place to do it. They don't have the means to do it. They don't have the help to do it.
They've lost their way. They lost their identity. They don't know who they are or where they belong.
21 veterans a day take their lives because they feel they have no hope or purpose.
This place actually gave me purpose. Probably saved my life.
Well, we're on the National Center for Healthy Veterans at Valor Farm, and we call this a holistic integration of proven best practices. And when I say that, I mean a tiny home community here that provides community living to defeat isolation, which is one of the primary causes of veteran suicide. Village 1 is a combination of 19 homes and a community center.
Each of the homes here are 400 square feet and 600 square feet. So it could be for a couple, it could be for a family, the bigger ones.
They're here in proximity to one another, they have their personal space, and yet we do everything to draw them into community. The homes don't have cooking facilities in them because we want them out of isolation into the community center cooking together, eating their meals together.
We have lunch where everybody that works here gets together up in the community center, and we do lunch as a family.
One of the things I love here is that you can see within the first day or two, there's that little dark cloud that's been following them and dissipates, and you see a smile come on their face.
We're an active farm ranch construction project. There's a lot of dignified work, and really that's therapeutic.
I was helping with the construction. We did the foundations and everything from Village 1. I was there from the beginning.
Well, we woke up one morning and we were told we would be taking over this project. Day by day we worked on it 3 hours at a time, and eventually we completed it. Just wanted to see it through to the end.
I know that's a small thing, but they are taking ownership. I couldn't be happier for the results we're seeing here.
We do horse therapy once a week, and then we have horsemanship once a week, which is, learning how to deal with the horses and saddle them and learn how to ride and stuff like that. Different avenues of approach for dealing with our life's problems. It's taught me a lot, learned a lot of stuff about people, horses, myself. I definitely am glad I came here a couple months ago. It helps us to see other ways of dealing with, our life problems.
They can get professional help, prepare them to go back into society as healthy veterans and to contribute.
Without the help of generous people that recognize the cause, that really put their shoulder to the wheel and frankly put their pocketbook to the wheel, we could not do what we're doing. We're so grateful we couldn't do it without them.
What we do has ripples across eternity.
Our mission here is to return healthy veterans to America.
A patriot goes home healthy, and you see the whole family dynamics change.
We partner with this organization right here is going to make a huge difference in these veterans' lives and their families and what they do when they go back into society.
And we get to be a little part of that. That is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, just to be a little part of that.
When I leave here, I'll be returning back to Bedford County. I have a house there, and I'll probably be going back to school.
Just a place to give me purpose in life. And
our mantra is returning healthy veterans to America. We want them to go be part of America because America needs our veterans now more than ever before.
Wow, such a powerful video. Let's talk about the science behind it. Like, how does it work?
Right. Earlier on in this project, I did a study of the causal factors of veteran suicide and other challenges. And isolation is at the very top of the list. So we live in tiny home community to defeat isolation. Everything is intentionally designed to pull them out of isolation. Secondly, work is very important. So we have dignified work to provide purpose and self-esteem. And then these trauma recovery and life skills programs, they need to learn things, and they do, about emotional regulation, life balance. And then we teach them some separate courses on communication skills and on financial literacy. So we just go soup to nuts figuring out what competencies they need to succeed in their future lives.
You were telling me just before the show a couple of powerful stories. One of them had to do with a guy who was trying to outrun his shadow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he came in, and he's very competent and accomplished. He had a business in Houston and all these different things. And I looked at the wife and I said, why are we doing this? And she said, short-term pain for long-term gain. She knew that they were going to have to sacrifice. She might see him on every Sunday for 9 months. And then I looked at the 13-year-old girl and I said, well, why? And she said, we just want our daddy back. And so he was, as he said, he was trying to use his business to outrun his trauma, because he had significant trauma related to his military service. use his business to outrun his trauma. And as we shared, that's like trying to outrun your shadow.
Yeah.
And so we've really been able to help him a lot get away from the isolation and some of the other challenges. And they're starting to communicate better as a family, and that's going to have generational ripples to include that 13-year-old daughter.
And there was another story that you shared about a food truck.
Yeah, boy, a gentleman who's an accomplished chef. And frankly, he's had a difficult background. And as he came to us, we helped him work through the mentality of having been incarcerated for a period of time. And now he's heading up an operation of food trucks, and he's just going to be doing great work. He's come 0 to 60, and I would hire him myself for sure.
Wow. I urge you to follow Bob on all the social media platforms. He's always creating rich content like the video you just saw. I like the ones that you do yourself, and so let's go ahead and roll that one.
Hello, I'm Bob Dees, National Center for Healthy Veterans. I want to give a quick shout out today about community, one of our key values. Community to defeat isolation, one of the primary causes of veteran suicide. Behind me you see our community center. It's where they do life together. They work out together in the fitness center. They cook here together. They do many different things. And it's all for the purpose of community, doing life together. We go out the community center door and we go into the village. This is Village 1. And in Village 1, out here you see tiny homes. In fact, in this first village, tiny homes are finished. There's 19 tiny homes. Some are vacant. We're recruiting for patriots as we speak. Let me take you into home number 1. These houses are comfortable, but they're designed proximity to one another so that they understand the notion of community. Here's the house dedicated to a distinguished veteran, and as we go in, we see the house in itself, and you'll see here that they have a microwave and they have a refrigerator, but not a cooking stove, because we want them to do that together in community to defeat isolation. You see the rest of the tiny home? That's enough for now. We'll be telling you more about community at Valor Farm to help our veterans become well in every way.
General, you were telling me a story about the Amish and how they even pitched in to help.
Oh, it was amazing. One of our dear mentors for 50 plus years at West Point and beyond mobilized Amish up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and they started coming down and putting roofs on things and vestibules and porticos. It was just amazing. And to this day, we were visiting up there this last weekend. They're just incredibly supportive, Amish and formerly Amish up there in Lancaster County.
Sure, we've got some more video that we're on a run and have you kind of narrate it for us. It's a beautiful campus. Is there something about being away, from even family and loved ones?
Right. One of the challenges is that many of the people that are at risk, their associates are not healthy for them. Many of the families are fractured. Part of our job is to help families come back together. This is Veterans Village 1 on this video. The reality is we're starting Veterans Village 2. It'll be a community center such as you see on the videos, but also 25 homes. And that's another exciting next step. And then after that, we have a Healthy Veterans Lodge, which has a counseling wing and a conference wing. And then we have 30 rooms in the lodge to help with families that come to visit, but also a women's program. The reality is that about half of our referrals are women. We don't help women right now. That's the boat dock there on the screen. We built the boat dock ahead of fixing the drain, and now the water is right at the boat dock, and people were jumping off of it swimming. That's the barn complex. This is a pole barn. Somebody came up, the 2 Liberty University ROTC platoons and some Amish workmen put up that pole barn, and you see it's starting to take form. Inside of there, we will have a workshop, and you saw the Healthy Veterans Lodge on there, construction. Construction's going on all the time. These are some of our patriots, some of them friends on horseback, volunteers. We have over 700 volunteers.
Wow.
And, it's just an amazing army that helps us in every way possible. We wouldn't be where we are without our volunteers, particularly like Liberty University and local veterans organizations, just incredible.
So is the country starting to take notice? I mean, the miracles that you're seeing every single day, do you think, does this change the way we approach veterans care in America?
It does change it, and the country has taken notice, and post 9/11, there's a good tone in the country about thank you for your service. Our challenge implicitly is to help people, churches, communities, campuses, corporations, understand that it's more than gratitude. It's about how do we tangibly help. And so our villages and our residential program is simply a learning laboratory for exporting best practices across the nation, helping other people, and we frankly want to mobilize a private sector movement on behalf of veterans. We love the VA, but the VA is not getting it done. The VA only connects with 30% of the veteran demographic, and they don't help that many. So it's a private sector initiative. That's what we're spearheading, and we're delighted with our progress, and we invite people to join us. You can go on the website, healthyveterans.org, and there's 3 buttons there. One is to refer a patriot. We have the first village is full. We have a waiting list, but we're building the second village, and we just ask people to refer somebody under a bridge, somebody maybe incarcerated, somebody in their parents' basement playing video games, somebody that for some reason is stuck with their family or in their business and they just can't get past that sticking point. That's who we're looking for. And then obviously we need beans, bullets, ammunition in terms of donations. And then volunteers, there's a button on there for volunteerism, all sorts of gifts in kind. People have given us tractors, front gates, front signs. They've come and planted fields for it. It's just amazing to see the Army. You know, my grandmother used to say, many hands make light work, and we're experiencing that in great ways.
And you're in Dallas for a fundraising event?
Right. The Hillwood Corporation, you know, the Perot folks are sponsoring a small luncheon for us tomorrow, and then that's a precursor to May the 22nd. We invite people to come out in Dallas. You can go to our website. You'll be able to find out the details about that event.
Outstanding. We're almost out of time, so any final thoughts? What would you like to leave people with?
Well, I would just say, where would we be without our nation's veterans? You know, what if on 6 June 1944, our veterans had said, it's too wet, it's too windy, I think we'll go over Normandy Beach tomorrow. But they didn't do that. And that's true of our veterans over the course of the nation's history. So we would not be the home of the brave, the land of the free, without our veterans. This is a way we can honor them, and more importantly, this is a way we can help them get healthy and pay forward to the rest of America who needs them now more than ever before.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for doing the Lord's work. We're going to end with the website again, which is healthyveterans.org, the great Major General Bob Dees. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.